Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the DFS experience for Saturday, October 29th. We got a 6 game slate. We're going to jump right in. We got Luca at 12.5. You're basically looking for 70 fantasy points. Could it be a blowout risk? OKC's been playing teams pretty tough. I mean, at least the games I saw, they're not pushovers. You need Luca to give you 70. That's why people fade him. Then you fade him, and then he has an 80-point performance. So if you're making many lineups, throw him in a few. That's all I can tell you. It's Luca. One of this season, um, one of the two top fantasy producers this season. The Jokic is taking a little bit of a step down as far as production. He's taking a step down next to Luca and Giannis, obviously. John Morant was on a trajectory to meet with those guys, but he's simmered down a little bit, and he's apparently sick or something like that. So right now it's Luca, Giannis, everyone else. You got Luca and Giannis on the slate. So just mix and match these guys. 12.5, you're looking for 70 fantasy points. That's all I can tell you. John Morant, if he's not, I think he has an illness. I think he's sick. Um, Non-COVID illness. So yeah, he's sick. So you don't want to be playing a 10-4 guy that's not feeling well. That's not 100%. So let's leave him on the back burner for this slate. If he plays, great. You don't need him. If he doesn't play, then you know to go to Tyus Jones. You guys know that. Steph Curry never looks like he's going to hit value. Got to be very careful with Charlotte. Charlotte just got blown off the court by Orlando, who was already shorthanded. Um, Playing a lot of lineup storm in one. Trae Young had a good game tonight. Um, should be a tough game. I do like Trae Young. Can't pay 9.7 for him right now, especially next to DeJounte. Looks like DeJounte's taking a little bit of a seat back as far as shots when it comes to Trae Young. DeJounte's getting there with more peripherals and stocks. Trae Young is getting there with scoring and assists. So, they are working together nicely as far as real life basketball. But what does that do for us, our fantasy lineups? You know what I'm saying? So, although they're good players, and it's going to be the same thing where every time we have a slate with Atlanta, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to tell you the same thing. They're good plays, not great plays. You're looking for that slate when one is out. When one is out, then the other shines. Right now, they both just limit each other. Harden, where do I start with Harden? Harden started off as a good play. If you guys were still paying attention and heard the news that Embiid was out, Harden became a great play, and Harden had one of the worst games I've ever seen that I can remember, and produced absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, Tyrese Maxey went off. You can't really, if you told me that this DFS business was fixed or staged, I wouldn't say you were lying. Doesn't make any sense. I don't even listen. I don't think Embiid is playing. If he is great, if he's not, Harden should be technically a good play, but I I can't call it. If I'm playing 10 lineups, I'll throw him in two and pray to the gods. Kyrie's in play. Kyrie and um, Kevin Durant, that is, they're the only two sources of offense for a Brooklyn team that plays no defense. Great fantasy environment. If you could get enough value to get in Kyrie or Durant and then run it back with a piece from Indiana, preferably Halliburton, and hopes the game stays close, that's something you could think about. You spoke about Murray, and same thing as Trae Young. Less shots, more stocks, more peripherals, but it's just still Trae Young's team. Pay 9,300, pay 9,400 if you like. Ceiling is capped. I'd rather play SGA at 9,300 when he's the head honcho over there. You know what I'm saying? You know for sure he's getting all the shots. Everything's going through him. No Giddy, just SGA and Trey Man. You know what I'm saying? So listen, fire up SGA. He stands out to me. I like him. Halliburton, I always like Halliburton. Don't like his coach. Don't like his minutes. But Halliburton does a little bit of everything. I love the game environment. Halliburton stands out to me. If I'm playing two lineups, he'll be in one. Drew Holiday, he's priced up like a star, but he's playing like, an above average player until he starts putting up 40 fantasy points regularly and high 40s, 45, 46, 47, 48. I don't have no use for him. Yeah, 48 fantasy points, one game out of four, and the 30s ain't going to help at 8K. Listen, this is nothing personal. This is strictly business. I need my players to, be good price per dollar plays. If you're not a good price per dollar play, then I don't need you. Um, Ben Simmons. If Ben Simmons was free, I wouldn't play him. Let's continue. Dennis Smith Jr. against Golden State. I don't really like the matchup. I really don't believe this, this little string of games that Smith has been on. It looks good on paper 29, 22, 37, 39. But oh, look, reality 16 fantasy points. Short slate, I'd consider him. He'd be in my player pool, but I'm not looking to roster him. Let's continue. Jordan Clarkson. Him and Conley kind of do some of the same things. Clarkson's more explosive. Conley has a higher assist upside. If I don't need to play him, I'm not going to play him. I like Jordan Poole. Maybe Charlotte blows them out and Jordan Poole gets a little bit of extra run. You can't really play DFS for, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but it could happen. Jordan Poole's an okay player, but at 6K, I need 36 fantasy points. Maxi had the greatest game of his entire life. Everybody's going to roster him. 5,700 with no Embiid is a fine play. He's going to be overowned because of the people that, game chase. So do with that information what you will. I'd rather play Trey Mann with SGA, $5,600 than not, the casual probably won't really know how decent he is when he gets minutes. Trey Mann is absolutely in play. 5,600. Last two games, 36 minutes, 10 for 24, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 40 fantasy points. That's $5,500. That's the ceiling. That's what he's capable of. I'm giving you plays that are. I'm giving you people that are in good positions that play decent minutes that give you an opportunity to win. That's all I'm doing. I'm giving you an opportunity to win. Because anybody could go out there and, you know, lay an egg. But I'm putting you in a position, if they go out there and do their job and hit their shots, you'll be looking pretty at the end of the night. You know what I'm saying? Ayo, listen, the Bulls aren't any kind of fantasy um superstars. Not one of them. Vooch might have a good game here and there. DeRozan might have a good game without Levine, but there's really nobody on the Bulls that you need. If you want to play Ayo at 5,300, have at it. Tyus Jones is where you're going if there's no Morant. Very simple math. This is $4,700 starting point guard, taking some Morant's minutes and usage and shots. Like nothing really to think about. Melton, if he starts again, his price went up $200. Melton's going to be overowned, but he's going to be worth it. I was able to get Melton in my DraftKings lineup, and boy did he smash. Um, Melton's amazing at 4K if he starts again. Everyone else down here is fish food. I know the Washington guards off the bench had pretty decent fantasy nights, but listen, you know, you can't call that. You can't call these guys down here. You should be looking at, you know, before lock when somebody gets ruled out. When somebody gets ruled out, and then they start starting weird people like how tonight Bull started, things like that, things of that nature. That's how these things come into play. If you're like I said my last video, if you're starting to make a lineup 14, 15 hours before lock and you're down here, you lose. You lost already. Um, let's go to shooting guard. Bane, no Morant. Bane's rates go up. Usage goes up a little bit. And I say a little bit because you still got Dylan Brooks on the team. And Dylan Brooks, I don't know. Dylan Brooks is, I think Dylan, hold on, let me just see something. Let's just check Dylan Brooks real quick. All right, 2 games back, 24 minutes, 4 fantasy points, 26 minutes, 17 fantasy points, 13 shots and 12 shots. That's my point. That was my point. So before I talk shit about Dylan Brooks, I'll just show you. So let's just go back. So, like I was saying, Desmond Bain, his usage goes up a little bit, but he still has a guy that's going to be chucking a lot of shots. You see where I'm going? So Bain goes from being a smash if Morant's not there to being a very good play. He's not a smash. Um, Matherin is not a smash because he doesn't get the minutes that he should be getting. You know, scoring 22 real life points off the bench as a rookie. I'm not, listen, when I die, and not when I die, when I'm on my deathbed and I'm about to die, the one thing I'm gonna be wondering is why they didn't give Matherin more minutes in the 2023 season, 22-23 season, when he was coming off the bench and destroying everyone. That's what I'm gonna want to know when I'm on my deathbed. Dinwiddie's price went up, I think, and it should have went down. You're playing next to Luca, your fantasy potential is capped. Buddy Hield, same thing with these Indiana guys. The minutes are, who knows. Um, Dylan Brooks, not playing him. Seth Curry, Brooklyn needs him, but they better not rush him back because if they rush him back and he gets hurt, their season is over. Yeah, his ankle. He has a bad ankle. I don't play guys that have hurt ankles that are questionable. Like, oh, your ankle feels good today. No, I'm good. Royce O'Neal, no. Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen's in play. He's a little pricey, but he's in play. Tim Hardaway off the bench. I mean, listen, with the information we have now with no real value, these are like average plays, below average plays, but you got to play someone. Once we get news, then these um these average plays become bad plays. Sexton, Concher, they're in play right now. Aaron Wiggins, I prefer. He's going to start at small forward for OKC. He should. We spoke about Melton, so with Melton, with Wiggins, with Trey, man, we have enough value that we need that we don't got to play the fish food. Moses Moody, no. What we got to do, since we're still fresh, we're still early in the season, you got to really pay attention to the games, the rotations, and the the stats of this season. Um, we can't rely on um, optimizers or projections because some of these projections I believe were bleeding from last year. Because I'm seeing projections that are not reflecting what players are supposed to be doing in these games. You know what I'm saying? Like I could make my own projection. I could take, minutes projected. I could take fantasy point per minute. I could take usage, and I could kind of formulate what a player should be producing. And when I do it for my own lineups, I'm way closer to what these projections on the internet are giving us. So I'm believing that um they're using a lot of the information from last season, and that's only gonna hurt. So if you've been running a crunch, if you've been running an optimizer, if you've been looking at projections and they've been seeming way off, that's why. You can't always trust a projection. All right, I'm done with shooting guard. Let's go to small forward. Um, all right, Durant is in play. Play him. DeRozan, 8,600. I think Levine was only out for. I think he was out for rest, so he should be back the next game. Or his knee. All right, well, whatever. Listen, no Levine, DeRozan's in play. So Durant's in play, DeRozan's in play. I like Wiggins at 7,100. Stands out to me. Markkinen's in play. I kind of don't want to play Charlotte against Golden State, but Hayward's not the worst play in the world. Simmons is a complete fade because he doesn't want to shoot. Kelly Oubre against his old team, $6,200 is an okay play. You know about Matherin. Tobias Harris should have been priced up if there's no Embiid. Fire him up, 5,800. I don't. Luke Dort is an okay play. I prefer the cheaper guys. No Buddy Hill for me. No Dylan Brooks for me. DeAndre Hunter's in play. Jaden McDaniels, last minute type deal is an okay play. He doesn't look sexy to roster, but you know he gets a lot of stops to get a lot of rebounds, a lot of not a lot of rebounds, but he gets decent rebounds, a lot of blocks, a lot of steals, stuff like that. So he's an okay play at that price. Um, Kenrich Williams, last man in, I guess. Patrick Williams, last man in. THT. They're okay. They're average plays. All right, average plays. Average plays. We'll get more value like we do every day, so no need to really, you know, do it to yourself. Giannis is in play absolutely. We don't. Why would we need to talk about Giannis? Giannis is Giannis. I don't need Christian Wood at $7,500 coming off the bench. The minutes is what messes with me. 24, 25, 29, 24 minutes for a guy, $7,500. You hit value twice out of 4 games, 41 fantasy points, 47 fantasy points. 32 fantasy points for $7,500 is not value. And 20 fantasy points at $7,500 means that your night is over. So do with that information what you will. Um, John Collins is in play. PJ Washington. I believe he had 0 fantasy points at halftime tonight. This is why I don't like playing him. And I don't need him tonight either. So you want to play PJ Washington? Have at it. He's an average play. Kelly Olynyk is okay. Draymond said it himself. He doesn't. Um, he's not motivated to play shitty teams. He said it himself. So I wouldn't play him against Charlotte. That's what he said. Listen, Bobby Portis is in play. Jalen Smith is in play, especially against Brooklyn. I do like Jalen Smith against Brooklyn now that I think of it. Aldama kind of lost his steam, but with no John Morant, he should get a few more shots. A man started off like a man on fire. 40 fantasy points, 31 fantasy points, 15, 27, and 16. So if Morant plays, I probably don't even play him. Maybe Dylan Brooks is taking away a little bit of his spark. I don't really know. I don't really care. He's not producing it. That's all I care about. Vanderbilt's in play. High rebound upside, blocks and steals. That's what you're looking for from Vanderbilt. He's in play. 5,200. Brandon Clark was in the winning lineup the other day. I don't know how on God's green earth you muster up the courage to play Brandon Clark, but somebody did. And the one time they played him, he went off. Look at this. 15 fantasy points, 13 fantasy points, 14 fantasy points, 18 fantasy points. You play him and he's in the optimal. You can't make this shit up. Um, Isaiah Jackson's in play. Obasetsky's in play. These are like last man in type plays. So don't jump in the comments saying Chapo said that Obasetsky's good. I didn't say that. Last man in, you got to play somebody, right? Okay. Yeah, they're a little bit below average plays, but you never know. Last man in. Um, yeah, I'm done. I'm done down there. I just try to give you guys a little bit of options. I don't want to give you all the spend ups and the mid ranges and no fodder. Everyone needs fodder. If you don't know what fodder means, fish food, things at the bottom of the ocean. Um, so we got Vooch at 76, which is appropriate. No wood for me. John Collins is fine. Claxton has been trending down. I never believed the hype anyway when he was getting 30 fantasy points and stuff like that. Look, 31, 44, 28. Like, Claxton is not like that. 25 minutes, 6 or 7 shooting. Okay. 8 of 11 shooting. Okay. 7 of 10 shooting. Okay. Now we back to reality. 18 fantasy points, 15 fantasy points. I know Claxton's athletic, but he's not a fantasy dominator. So, um, yeah, he's coming back to earth. Miles Turner went off last night. Will it show up here? Absolutely. 32 minutes, three or four from three, 7 of 14 field goals, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 blocks. Um, he might have another good game against Brooklyn too. They play no defense. Miles Turner is in play. Steven Adams. Steven Adams is in play. No Capella for me. But Lopez looks great. 5K. Still no Middleton. He's getting his shots. He's getting his minutes. He's getting his blocks. What else do you want from him? 31 minutes, 29, 28, 33 minutes. 16 shot attempts, 7, 10, 13, all field goal attempts. He's getting his 3-point shots, 12 shots, 6 shots, 5 shots, 6 shots, all attempts. Rebounds is there, a couple assists. The blocks are crazy: 2 blocks, 5 blocks, 6 blocks, 3 blocks. 29 fantasy points, 33 fantasy points, 27 fantasy points, 27 fantasy points, 40 fantasy points. My man is 5K. He's kind of underpriced. Um, Got to play Brook Lopez while he's healthy, while Middleton is out, while they're in this rhythm. Basketball is about rhythm. You got to catch these teams and these players while they're in their rhythms. Brook Lopez is in a great rhythm. He's 5K. Play him. Period. All right, I got to pick 5 guys. Brook Lopez is probably my first man in. I didn't realize he was that cheap. We got Brook Lopez. Um, I think you got to play SGA. You got to play SGA. Hope that him and Luca go back and forth. Oh man, do we fade Luca? Do we fade Giannis? Listen, I'll deal with that later. Let me just get 5 guys that I like. Um, Mathurin is too cheap. All right, so we're doing Bane at 74. So we got Bane in. Oh, I'm bugging out. Tyus Jones. That's our value right now. Yesterday it was Trey Jones. Today it's Tyus Jones. So we got Tyus Jones. And last man in. Um, Let me see. I really do like Halliburton, especially against let me see something. That's what we doing. We got SGA, we got Bane, we got Brook Lopez, we got Tyus Jones. I really do like Trey Man. So obviously you're not playing this lineup like this because I never play a guard in my utility. I always leave utility for a center or a player in the later games. What you're going to be doing is what I take this as 5 guys that are underpriced or 5 guys that stand out to me. I don't play these guys just like this. So what I would do is I'll probably play a lineup with um or you know what you could do? I think Trey Man is point guard only. So you could play a lineup like SGA and Trey Mann, you know, Tyus Jones, Trey Mann, whatever it is. You could probably put SGA at shooting guard, put Bane at small forward, like mix and match. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not playing this like this, but these are just five guys that I like. Just so we clear on that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to. I'm not trying to mislead anyone. I would never play all these guards like that. I'll put a guard here, put a guard here, put a guard here, and then I usually run double centers or double big men, and I usually leave two or three spots or two spots for the late game. So when they have um, people not playing and people are spot starting, then I have a space for them. I have a spot for them. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to do last night. Okay, so let's go to FanDuel, which is already done. If you're new, welcome. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell, thumbs up. If you need my if you're having trouble cashing with this crazy NBA season and you would like my full optimal up to date lineups, you can check out my Patreon, linked in the description. You can DM me on Twitter. You can have my lineups that I'm playing, and I'll definitely send you the updates as we pivot throughout the night. And I can build you your own lineups if you're building more than one lineup. So whatever it is you need, holler at me, let me know. FanDuel's already done. I kind of like Brook Lopez on FanDuel before I even seen his price on DraftKings. So, you know, it makes sense. I'm able to fit in Giannis because of Tyus Jones. Um, I like Bane if there's no Morant. Tyus Jones, obviously, if there's no Morant. And then I like the matchup for Tyrese Halliburton. So these are just five guys that I like. Obviously, things change as we get closer to the lock, as I preach every single day. And just pay attention to news. Be smart, and good luck to you. Hope you guys had a profitable night, and I'll talk to you guys later. Ciao.